So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of books that I got secondhand, and it's going to be a bit of a book haul for you guys. So remember, if you want to get the books, if they are available, I'm going to put links to them in the description, linking to bookshop.org. Bookshop.org is a company that works with local small businesses to help get them a little bit more of a kickback when you buy through bookshop.org. So you can get them there, and if they're not available on bookshop.org, I'm going to put the ISBNs for you guys to go and get them. So the first three books I'm going to talk about the three of them together, because they're kind of related, or at least two of them are related, one of them tangentially. So the first book is Speeches and Writing by Marcus Garvey, and then the second one is Darkwater, Voices from Within the Veil by w.e.b. Du Bois, and the third one is Souls of Black Folk by w.e.b. Du Bois again. So basically you're going to be asking me, why have you got two authors together who aren't the same person, and also two of the books are by one of the authors? So actually I was meant to get two books by Marcus Garvey as well, but I put them in the basket because I bought all these books via w.e.b Books, and tangentially I know w.e.b Books is owned by Amazon, but it is the best way to find secondhand books now for me because I no longer live in London, and where I live the only bookstore is Waterstones. So I am upset. Amazon makes a bit of money off these, but also it does, most of the money goes to independent booksellers. But anyway, as I was saying, I had another Marcus Garvey book in my basket, and then I kind of left buying the books for a day because I was like, I'm a bit strapped for cash at the moment. But then I eventually went around to do it a couple of days later, and unfortunately one of the books that was there was sold because it was through an independent bookstore and they only had one copy, and so it went. So that's why there's only one Marcus Garvey book and two w.e.b. Du Bois books. But also, why am I talking about them together? Because these two writers, or these two men, oh, they're not just writers, they were civil rights activists, they were leaders, are basically like the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to the Black Rights Movement in the United States. So if you read one of the books that I spoke about recently, which is, you can't see it because it's on the bottom shelf, The Dead Are Rising, where, you know, I made a great video about The Dead Are Rising, you should check out, somewhere here. It really talks about how Malcolm X's parents were kind of split between either being Garveyites or supporting w.e.b. Du Bois. The two of them had different ideas on how black people should get their rights in the US, or how they should just attain their rights overall. Although both men's ultimate goal was the liberation of black people, Garvey's was more of a isolationist, even advocating for a separate black state, even a return to Africa. Whereas w.e.b. Du Bois was more along the lines of a gradual incorporation into US life, gradually getting your rights and improving oneself. Well, not improving oneself, but improving the lot of black people within the US. So two different ideologies, both of which wanted the same ultimate goal. Basically, you know, the rights for black people, black Americans, for them to, you know, be able to self-determine either within a system or separately in Garvey's case. So it is interesting to see these two men who also just did not like each other. Like, they both wanted the same thing, but their ideologies were so different, they openly did not like each other. This isn't just me being like, oh yeah, they don't like each other. No, they like genuinely disliked one another. So obviously reading The Dead Are Rising is the reason I wanted to pick up these books. To be honest, I had heard of Garvey and Du Bois before. There are some great creators that I like on here that kind of talk about their books and talk about their ideology more so. And also, you know, knowing I've read multiple books on Malcolm X, I thought I should start picking up books on the two of them. I don't think I'll make videos on these books purely because I do not think I'm smart enough. There is a limitation to my ability to reinterpret the words of people who are a lot more intelligent than me. If you do know anyone who has made a video or has, you know, written a blog post or anything, comment them down below who has talked about Garvey and Du Bois, or both of them together, and let me know in the comments down below, and for other watchers who would probably get a more educational review of these two men's ideologies and their writings. Obviously, I'm not saying, you know, only smart people can understand these things. I think every man can understand these things.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
The every man can understand these things.
That's better.
But to get like a full analysis of this stuff, I am just not smart enough to talk about that. And that's okay for me to admit. I'm just not the smartest guy out there, and I don't want to butcher what these guys have said. So I probably won't make a video on it, but I might, you know, refer to it, you know, whenever I make my videos. I talk about a lot of books, I'll probably talk about them, but don't hold out on me making videos about these, unfortunately, but you should read these. I'll give my opinion. I'll give my opinion on them. The next book is Darfur, A New History of a Long War. I have talked about this book before. It was in a list of books about Sudan that I was recommended and then I wanted to share with you guys. I actually finally managed to get my hands on a copy. Basically all the books I spoke about in that video, which I'll try and link here, they're quite hard to get, at least here in the UK. They are either just, no one has copies that you can get easily, or they are just prohibitively expensive in the UK. You know, I might advocate for you to maybe get a PDF of the books. But that's to each their own. I managed to finally get my hands on one of these. Like, it was the first copy I was able to find that was affordable for me. So this book is about Darfur and Sudanese history and Sudanese sort of modern history, recent history. So I think it's going to be a very interesting read. Again, it was a book that was recommended to me by someone who was in academia. So it's actually a book that isn't just one I saw about, oh, that's about Sudan. It was actually recommended to me by someone who was far more intelligent than me. Like the books here, which you can't see, the ones I just spoke about, far more intelligent than me and probably knows how to, you know, analyze this stuff a lot more than me. But highly recommend if you want to learn about, you know, Sudanese history and the kind of the plight of the Sudanese people as of late during the war. So that is my recommendation for this. Again, when I was looking for these books, I tried to get all of the books I spoke about on Sudan, but they were all just way out my budget. I'm talking like £30–40 per book. Maybe in the US or elsewhere the books might be more readily available, but unfortunately in the UK on secondhand bookstores I couldn't find it affordably. I'm not sure how much it's going to be on bookshop.org, but if it is on bookshop.org it'll be in the description down below. Yeah, just it's unfortunate that of the, I think I spoke about 4 or 5 books in that video, this was the only one that was within my price range. Super quickly, I'm going to put Bloody Nasty People here. The book isn't going to arrive in time for me to release this video. I think it's coming the day this video is meant to go out. So Bloody Nasty People is one of the books I spoke about in my books about the British far right, so just going to pop that there. Another book that I spoke about in that video about the British far right is Europe's Fault Lines. Again, secondhand, this might have been from a library. I think someone might have like given a library book to a secondhand bookstore, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone took this from a library. Or maybe they bought it from the library, they might not have taken it. Sometimes libraries do book sales. So, or maybe the bookstore got it from the library. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Please, don't, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. But yeah, this is more about Europe as a whole than just Britain, but it is about, you know, the recent breeding ground for far-right extremism that we've seen growing in London, the rise of the far-right in London, and how that relates to the insidious racism that has always been present in Europe, unfortunately. So yeah, this is going to be quite the interesting read. I think I'm going to enjoy this as much as you can enjoy a book about the far right and the dangers of the far right. I'm not sure if that was the right word to use. Final book, the book I'm leaving to last because I have an anecdote. Malcolm X Speaks. So If you follow me on the Instagram, you'd have seen that I'm going to actually try and read through the Black Panther's reading list, which is part of the reason also I went for some of the W.e.b. Du Bois. I don't know why I'm doing this. You can't see the books here. There they are. Some of the W.e.b. Du Bois and the Marcus Garvey books, because some of them are on the Black Panther reading list. Also, Malcolm X Speaks is on the Black Panther's reading list. Unfortunately, I saw this book before I saw the Black Panther's reading list as well. I saw Malcolm X Speaks, it was in a hardback, and it was at my favourite bookshop, Bookmarks bookshop in London, and I didn't buy it. And I didn't buy it because I think the day I went there, I was going out afterwards, and I just didn't want to pick up any books because it was going to be a long night. And I was like, you know what? I'm in London early. I went to my favourite bookstore and then was going to walk to go meet my friends. Didn't pick up the book because I didn't want to carry it with me and I didn't have a bag on me. And then the next time I went to Bookmarks, it was sold. And it was a second-hand copy. And, you know, I love buying my books second-hand, and I want to encourage you guys to buy your books second-hand, and not only because I'm trying to indoctrinate you to start buying second-hand books, so when I eventually open my own bookstore, you guys come and buy second-hand books from me.
I'm sorry, what was that?
But also because, you know, it's cheaper for you and it's better than buying things from these massive corporations like Waterstones, Amazon, and Barnes & Nobles, I think is the US one. But yeah, it was a beautiful hardback copy of the book as well. And the next time I went in there, I was kicking myself like, why did I not just bite the bullet and buy it there? But I did manage to pick up a copy secondhand of Malcolm X Speaks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this, especially I think after I read The Dead Are Rising. I said in that video I was interested in picking up books like Malcolm X Speaks to read some of his speeches and his other statements. Also going to try and pick up his diary, which there are excerpts of it in The Dead Are Rising, so I might try and grab that too. But yeah, that was the last one I wanted to talk about because I had a little anecdote. So I'm not really sure there's much more I can say about this book. It is about Malcolm X's speeches and some of the stuff, his writing, so, you know, like, is there any more? Do I need to sell that to you? If you watch my channel, I shouldn't need to sell that to you. But yeah, those are the 7 books? 7 books, if you include the one that's not arrived, that I got in my little haul. Remember, I do always encourage you to try and pick up books from independent booksellers, secondhand bookstores, go to your local library as well. I really want to encourage people to go to their local libraries because they're such a bastion of knowledge and it's so great for your local community. And it makes me sad to read and hear stories of libraries being shut down, libraries being burnt down by the EDL, libraries being harassed in the United States for having like Maya Angelou books. It is upsetting, but that's another video. So please, if you can, get the books from there. Obviously, I do have the links to the books from bookshop.org down below. Some of the money does go to independent bookstores as well, which is great. But, you know, I understand maybe you want to go and get the books directly from the independent bookstores, and I highly recommend you do that too. It's just there for convenience sake if you can't find it anywhere else. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share the video with a friend or family member. If you've read any of these books or you are now going to go pick up any of those books, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. I really love the engagement I've been getting recently. I think that books about the British far right video has gotten me a lot of engagement, and you know, maybe that's not going to keep up for long based off that video and how it's performing, but you know, the fact that it's gotten a few new people in who are like really engaging with my videos, you know, I genuinely love that, and I'm genuinely happy that it's happening. So thank you for the recent engagement. I really want to talk to you guys more in the comments, and you know, I love the suggestions I'm getting from people. Saturday's video is going to be based off a comment that I got on one of my recent videos, so that's amazing. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you read a great